Spider-Man.
Agatha All Along dropped a huge bombshell this week on us Marvel fans and us Marvel theorists who have been wanting a certain character to possibly make an appearance for years now. We're going to quickly go over this episode and everything that happened because honestly I had a great time with this one, but more importantly we're going to discuss those Easter eggs and those potential cameos that could pop up later on in the season. Before we get started, we're on the road to 2,000 subs. We're getting so close, so if you're new to this channel, love Marvel, DC, Star Wars, click that button, join our community. I would love to have you. Also leave your comments down below of what you thought about this week's episode of Agatha All Along. I read every single one and I most likely will respond. Now let's recap the episode. So Agatha and crew are now walking down the Witch's Road and they come upon their first trial. This takes place in a very beachy kind of Real Housewives type home and it's very unsettling. Everything is so clean, everything's so put together, it's very eerie. The witches start learning about themselves and they have to kind of go through this process of drinking wine that is poisoned and then figuring out how to make the antidote. That's basically the whole premise of this episode. It's more of like an escape room type thing, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed this first trial, getting to know these characters a little bit more. There's several scenes where there are very haunting apparitions popping up for each one of these witches because they drank the brew, and their faces turning into this kind of botched plastic surgery look was terrifying, funny, and also just so intriguing. It's in these moments where the characters are trying to figure out how to make this antidote where we get some backstory between two characters talking about their pasts. Jennifer Kale is talking to Teen and he talks about how Agatha potentially sacrificed her own child for the Darkhold. A theory that we thought all the way back in episode 1. It seems to be the case. It seems to be true. Jennifer brings up to Teen what could possibly have happened to Agatha's son. And it's in this moment where we get the big reveal, the first ever official name drop of Mephisto. A character that we all theorized way back in the days of WandaVision. We were almost certain that it was Mephisto or Mephisto would pop up. Now we have the first verbal confirmation of this character existing in the MCU. There's rumors that Mephisto will be played by Sacha Baron Cohen in the Ironheart series, so what better way to set up this character by introducing him here in this series about witches where he's actually brought up. Now what Jennifer says is that Agatha's son could potentially be serving as an agent of Mephisto, and if we go off the theory that Billy or the Teen character is actually the reincarnated son of Agatha, this could make a lot of sense. At the same time, there are comic backstories where Billy Maximoff or Wiccan was actually the offspring of Wanda Maximoff, but actually becomes real from Mephisto. It's a very confusing storyline for the origin of Wiccan, but that's just the basic gist of it. I do believe that Teen is going to end up being Wiccan. I mean, we've seen images in the trailers of him using the blue magic that Wiccan uses in the comics, but the question is, who is he going to be in terms of his actual name, where he comes from, etc. I would love it if it was kind of a mix between a reincarnation of Agatha's son as well as Billy Maximoff, and maybe Mephisto has a role to play in there as well, but it also makes me wonder who is Rio Vidal's character. I love the mystery that this show is presenting us with only 3 episodes in, and it's just such a good time to watch. I think the attention to detail in this show so far has been superb, and I'm so excited that we're getting a very fun and quirky yet serious and horrifying show. And this whole time, Agatha is still kind of just being her normal self. She's not sharing anything with anyone. She's kind of trying to skirt the system and survive on her own. She doesn't need anybody else, but she's slowly, maybe a little bit, kind of becoming softer and relating to the Teen character, because I feel like a part of her deep down actually realizes that this could be her reincarnated son, and we even get a vision of Agatha once she drinks the wine in this episode where she sees a baby cradle with the Darkhold inside it, meaning the stories were true. She traded her only child for the Darkhold. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to one character in this episode, at least for now, because I don't know if she's going to pop up in the later episodes. It is possible because this is the Witch's Road, and that is of course Mrs. Hart. She shouldn't even have been here in the first place. She unfortunately dies in this episode, but I don't know if this is the last we're going to see of her. At this point, the episode ends, and I feel like we're going to get our next trial next week. I think it'd be really fun if we get trials each week while doing these trials, learning more about these characters and kind of unveiling the true plot of this story and where this is all going. But this was a really fun episode. I'm assuming Aubrey Plaza's character Rio Vidal is going to make a return next episode. Now that Mrs. Hart is gone, we need a replacement witch. So maybe we'll learn more about her backstory next week, and maybe we'll get even more hints towards Mephisto. But the fact that this character has been confirmed after theorizing for so many years over the eras of WandaVision, etc., it's so cool to get verbal confirmation. Guys, again, let me know what you thought about this episode down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm so into the show so far. It keeps surprising people. I think it opened up to over 9 million viewers with the first episode, so it seems to be a hit so far, and I'm so glad Marvel is on this great run. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon.